Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Italy, a Place to Love YouTube channel. Now, today, as usual, on Saturday, I'm talking about a topic that for me could be interesting to talk and to share with you in my one-to-one Saturday video. So, today, what do I want to talk today? Today is a very hot topic, and thanks to one of my subscribers. Anyway, she reminded me about a problem that we have in the south of Italy. Now, probably these are rumors, these are voices that are spreading around the world anyway. So the world nowadays is so small with the internet, so uh, know everyone knows what's happening, on the other side of the planet. And so, let's enter into the topic, into the hot topic, the rubbish. Now, for me, this is a very sensitive topic because it's something that I really don't like and I really dislike. Now, before I'm saying about the south of Italy, then I can say about the north of Italy, of all Italy, but in the world anyway, generally where there is problem with rubbish and with dirt, it's something that I really, really dislike. And I'm asking to myself, how is it possible that in 2025 human beings are throwing trash everywhere? Rubbish, uh, everywhere. Now, this doesn't happen everywhere. Now, I know very well, for example, that there are some places where you might go around the world and you are surprised how clean and well kept these places are. So each time I go somewhere, the first thing that I notice is how clean one place is, because for me, I'm gonna use this word. I'm gonna describe for me a place, for example, that is clean. I describe it as a civilized place. But now let me go back 1 second. Now, the rubbish here, the trash in the south of Italy. Let's focus on this topic now, on this problem. Now, we all know, for example, that the south of Italy has a lot of tourism. Okay, so let's not start the problem from the local point of view. Let's start from the tourist, sorry, from the tourist point of view. Now, when tourists are coming here and they're coming to the south of Italy, um, they enjoy their holiday. They love the locations, they love towns, they love the sea, they love the food. There are so many things that tourists love, and that's why they fall in love with Italy, okay? Or they fall in love with the south of Italy. But I'm sure 100% that each of these tourists that are coming here, anyway, what they notice is that quite often you find rubbish, in particular on the side of the roads, for example. You see that people are dumping. Now, actually, we don't see people dumping the rubbish, because I wish to see the idiots who are dumping the rubbish on the side of the road, for example. But often, I'd say very often, in particular, anyway, from the touristic point of view, who is coming here notice that there's plenty of rubbish, and in particular in some spots that maybe are not really in the center of the town. As soon as you drive a bit away from a crowded place, you might find maybe a road, and then you stop on the road, or you are just passing by and you see sachets, bags with rubbish dropped just on the side of the road. Now, for me, this is a disgrace. I have problems to understand what brings people mind, what what brings people mind to do something like this. Anyway, no words. Then again, so the tourists are aware of this. Obviously, there are some tourists, for example, that they say they, let me use this word, to tolerate. Okay, okay, Italy is beautiful, is nice. I try to see the glass half full. I try to see the beauties, and then obviously I notice this problem. But there are some tourists, for example, that they love to put the accent on this thing. For example, they may say, "No, I will never come back to a place where people are so dirty. Why should I come back in a place?" Now, I don't want to discourage people to come here. Actually, my goal is totally the opposite. But for example, for me that I live here, and sometimes I go in beautiful places, and then I notice that there's rubbish here and there. I become sad because I say, what brings people mind to misbehave like that? Now, for example, another problem can be just people. For example, there are the bins on the road, and people are just throwing on the ground, on the floor. I see that is a common habit here, to just throw things on the floor. Nobody cares. Now, we should understand, maybe here we should start talking a bit of sociology, anthropology, why people are behaving in a certain kind of way. And or to throw the butts of the cigarette. For example, if I don't see a bin, because I'm a smoker, if I don't see a bin, once the butt of the cigarette is not burning anymore, I keep it in my pockets, because I hate the idea to throw the boots or the gums that some people are chewing and they throw. Now, I'm happy, for example, because I remember in my childhood to see the gums everywhere in the streets, and nowadays, for example, that I don't notice that much anymore. Anyway, the dirt for me, it's a huge, huge problem. Um, what else I can say? For example, that I believe that it's a minority. Now, unfortunately, I believe that most of the people, and if I have to give a percentage, I would say 95% of the people are not throwing rubbish like that. So even here in the south of Italy, for example, where I see this problem, I'd say I believe that most of the people are not misbehaving. I see there is a well behavior, for example, in the way the rubbish system, for example, is working very well. I cannot complain here. And the thing is that everyone is paying. Even these people, for example, this little minority, let's say this 5%, or probably even less, they are also paying for the rubbish. Seriously, help me to try to understand what's going on in these people's brain, because this is what is amazing for me, to try to understand what is in these people's brain, who don't understand that out there belongs to everyone anyway. And it will be extremely nice to see the place around us clean. I mean, what's better than living in a clean place? I mean, nothing better. When I have a walk in the park, for example, in another country, or not only in a park, but when you see that a park is well kept, everything is in order, you don't see, or just a main road. Anyway, that's amazing. You appreciate more, obviously, that place. So anyway, these people, it's a minority. It's a minority. I believe that because most of everyone is paying for the rubbish, maybe who has a very low income, low salaries, maybe they don't even have to pay for the rubbish. So, but it's a service that is provided to everyone. Now, what brings someone to go into the forest and dump a bag of rubbish into the forest? What brings people mind I don't know, for me, this is kind of something, uh, I have no words to explain anyway, this misbehavior. In particular, when you have such a beautiful place like here, for example. Um, then, what else I can say, for example? That, for example, in Europe, to be honest, I've been to Greece, I've been to Spain, I've been to many countries in Europe, and this behavior, I mean, I saw Greece and Spain, for example. I might compare because it's in southern part of Europe. You might say, oh, Italians are misbehaving, probably are misbehaving as well, Greeks and Spanish, which they're not, for example. I see much cleaner Spain than and Greece than the south of Italy. For example, okay, even in some places in the north of Italy, I see this misbehavior. I'm wondering again why. Help me to understand what should be done, for example, to these people if someone is caught, or to prevent. But for example, we can say, okay, I'm gonna put cameras everywhere. Obviously, these people are not stupid. I mean, they're misbehaving, but they're not stupid. If they know there is a camera, probably in one place, maybe they go to throw somewhere else because this for them is a kind of challenge. I mean, I believe that for these people, first of all, these people don't care at all about collectivity and the general wellness, wealth, anyway, to have clean places around. These people probably don't care at all what, for example, institutions should do, because I know institutions are not happy. In particular, the local administrations, they are trying to do their best, for example, to prevent this problem. And unfortunately, it's not easy. It's not easy. So it's a misbehavior kind of in the genes. It's a kind of misbehavior that, I don't know, maybe it's gonna take few generations. I want to be positive. I want to be optimistic and saying that no, things will change and people have to understand, anyway, that it's not good. I mean, and for example, now, uh, let me describe a bit the situation in the south of Italy, because I don't think it's the same everywhere. For example, about Puglia region, about Apulia, I have to say that for me is one of the worst about this. Now, I don't know much about Lecce province. For example, if you've been, now, probably if you follow my channel, you've been on holiday to Apulia region. For example, I didn't notice this level of dirt in Abruzzo and Molise, considering, let's say that we want to consider Abruzzo and Molise part of the south of Italy. For example, I didn't see much for what I've traveled and for other people experiences, sharing and so on. I didn't see this. For example, I saw people in Abruzzo Molise more civilized. Um, then let me talk about Basilicata. For example, Basilicata I think is much better than Apulia region, but the areas that are at the border with Apulia region, for example, here I'm at the border with Apulia region, and I see that there is this problem. It's not that bad as in Apulia, but we have this problem also here in Basilicata. Then the moment I start driving, for example, in the inner part of Basilicata, like I did, for example, the last week, I see everything clean, for example. Inside Basilicata, when you go to the small towns, but in the inner part of Basilicata, you see that it's much cleaner. Sometimes you can even say, oh, it looks like Switzerland. I'm always taking Switzerland as example because, anyway, I've been many, many times to Switzerland, and Switzerland is the example, even more than Germany, for how things are in order and clean, and I love this. I mean, for this reason, I would move straight away to Switzerland. Then, because people are not misbehaving, I mean, they respect the other. Because people who are throwing rubbish, for example, uh, bag of trash, bag of rubbish everywhere, they don't respect the other, but they don't respect themselves as well. I mean, these people don't understand that they don't respect themselves. I mean, are they not disgusted themselves when when they're driving that road? Because I believe these people, um, here there is a common practice, I mean, not here, but generally in some places of the south of Italy, to throw the rubbish just from the car while they're driving, not even stopping in one place and say, okay, I'm gonna dump the rubbish here in this corner. That maybe no one see. No, first of all, they don't care if they see. Sometimes you are driving and you see a bag of small bag, medium-sized bag of rubbish just on the side of the road. I mean, means that person didn't even stop. It threw the rubbish while was driving. Then Basilicata is fine. The more I go into the inner part of Basilicata, Campania region, for example, Campania is well known for different reasons. For example, c'è la Terra dei Fuochi. They had a problem where uh, very polluting materials were digged into the soil underground. So there was a kind of mafia business with the rubbish. A lot of rubbish was even coming from Northern European countries and was hazard, let me say, let's say hazardous, dangerous rubbish. Now, if I dump my sachet, I understand, but that is disgusting to see. Before or later, someone will collect because there are services that time to time, but not. I mean, they cannot chase these people, this minority. Institution cannot chase people one by one. I mean, that would be crazy. It's something that has to grow inside people. Mentality, anyway, behavior, simply the idea to live in a nice environment around us. If everything is clean, it's fantastic. I believe Calabria and Sicily might have a bit the same problem. For example, that there are still some sick people. I'm calling these people sick people because someone who is behaving like this is sick. Campania, for example, Napoli, Naples. Now, Naples is 3 million inhabitants. The municipality Naples is very small. They had big issue with the trash, with the rubbish in the past years. Unfortunately, the problem over there you cannot solve easily because the municipality is so small, and so many people are living in this place. For example, obviously they produce a lot of rubbish, and they don't have the dumps where, for example, the system in the years didn't provide, and they had to bring in the outskirt of the town, maybe in other municipalities. Other municipalities are not happy to receive the rubbish from Naples. Anyway, in the last few years, things have improved in Naples, for example. But we also had this problem in Rome, in the big cities, for example. Few years ago, maybe it was 10 years ago, there was a critical moment in Naples, and because I don't hear any more news about from this, so I'd say maybe they partially solved. Now, with the recycling, for example, again, let me spend a few words about the recycling. Here it's working very well, extremely well. Every day they are collecting something, every day, not once a week or 3 times a week they're collecting organic. That's fantastic. Once a week general waste, once a week plastic, once a week paper, once a week glass. So, and 3 times a week the organic, for example. That's fantastic. I'm very happy. Um, there are maybe few ways to solve this problem. Now, last thing I want to say about the rubbish and the mentality of the Italians, if you're watching up to now, for me, Italians have a very, very bad habit. that inside the house they have to keep the houses like in Italian I say bomboniera, bonbon. The house have to be perfect inside. Then outside nobody cares. So, for example, now let me say that it's nice if people at home like to keep the house shining. Nothing wrong with that, okay? But if I'm keeping my house shining and then outside I don't care, because outside belongs to everyone and I don't care, should be someone working and providing this system. But this oh yeah, outside, but again, and in 2025 now this problem is not that big as it used to be 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago. I remember in my childhood was even worse, much worse, in all Italy. So things are getting better. The majority are not misbehaving. The majority are doing their best. Now they keep their house clean. But for example, what I noticed was 1994, the first time I went to England, for example, and I've been impressed by the way they were keeping everything clean and tidy outside. But what I noticed when I was going inside the houses of the people, that inside the house people were dirty. I mean, they didn't care much because it's inside your house. And I, for example, I have to say, I don't care how people keep their houses, where their houses. I don't care at all. Inside your house, do whatever you want. I mean, if you like to live in the dirt, it's not nice. But if someone likes it, or someone is lazy, or like doesn't like to do cleanings, I mean, it's your house. In your house, you do whatever you want. You keep your house as you want. But outside belongs to everyone. And because it's more important what belongs to everyone than what belongs only to me. Now, if there is this misbehavior, anyway, the good thing, let me say, is that I see slowly things are improving. It's a slow process. I'd say we are the last in Europe, because not even if I go, anyway, I said Portugal, Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Turkey, even in, I mean, I'm not saying that Turkish people are dirty. I don't want to say this, but you don't see what you see in Turkey, you don't see it here. I mean, here you see, unfortunately. And I hope, I pray that something is gonna click inside the people's brain to understand that what is outside is valuable to everyone. I had a walk here in a little forest that a few weeks ago I went a bit in the outskirts of Monte Milone. I said to my wife, "Oh, look at this forest, looks beautiful." We stopped, we had a walk, and to be honest, I started shaking my hand when I saw plastic bottles, glass bottles, cans thrown like this. I said, what brings people? And it sometimes, because if I see a bag with 100 bottles and someone of glass and someone dump it there, I mean, what brings people? I mean, do they don't? That place could be fantastic to do picnics, to do barbecues, and no, believe me, you go there, and it's such a disgrace. I say, I'd love to go myself there and say, okay, I'm gonna clean it myself. One day I go. Problem is not that they're gonna redo it. Problem is where I'm going to dump this, because there is not a bay where I can go. Here, technically, I can only look after my rubbish, but I cannot look after. Now, if I want go somewhere and I want to start cleaning that place, for example, then where I'm going to dump, where am I going to dump this rubbish? Again, and I'm back to, okay, let's leave it there. Let's hope, finger crossed, that someone one day will go and clean, they will organize something. Or because from this point of view, sometimes deep, it's hidden. I mean, you have a walk in a lovely forest and you have to see these things. Come on, it's a lack of civilization. Okay, if we still see these things, and this is one of the reasons why I have to say for me, I'm suffering a bit when then obviously I'm living here, I'm adapting to the situation. I can only hope that things are gonna get better. Okay, my friends, so after this disclosure about the rubbish here, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you here on Italy A Place to Love YouTube channel. Let's hope that things are gonna get better and people are becoming more civilized. Alright, my friends, have a nice day, and I'll see you to my next video here on Italy A Place to Love YouTube channel. Bye!